This is the highest single target Spiritborn build in the game. Boom, dead. One shot of the boss. Okay, the real. Boom. Drop. 2 billion. Hey everybody, it's Rob here. Welcome to the highest single target DPS build in the entire game, at least that we know of at the moment. This is the Touch of Death core basic skill build on the Spiritborn. We are basically using Kapeleke and we're using the burst aspect here for Touch of Death to make it a core skill and make it a basic skill. Make it spend all our fury and burst for some big AoE DPS. I've seen this build hit up to 50 billion damage, and I'm not even fully done scaling it because we can still get a bunch of Touch of Death duration tempers, which I didn't have materials for on this test server to get it even like fully scaled. So there is still a lot of DPS you can still gain here, and the best thing is you do not need any Uber uniques for any of this. Like you see, like here, this is completely without Uber uniques. All you need is like 3 uniques, but you can target farm those very easily at the bosses. I think Kapeleke drops on Duriel, the Harmony Helm drops on Beast and Ice, and the Midnight Sun Ring drops on Gregar. So once you have these, you don't need any mythics, you don't need any Ubers, you're gonna be just fine. And this is, I believe, the highest single target DPS build in the game by far. So let me show you here the entire setup, and we're gonna talk about all the paragons, all the skills and everything. So first of all, we're rocking Harmony's helm here. This one basically allows our skill tags to become Centipede, which is basic, and we're also gaining Gorilla and Jaguar from our Spirithall, giving us and unlocking us multiple more DPS options. And as you see by the intro, this can do bosses, and we can also do Pit 100 here. Actually very comfortable. So you guys can just see here, like this is me using this build basically to just speed farm here 100. Like we see a pack, we basically blast it down. Like you just have to you know, like soar on it once. You see this is a pack on 100, and we just go on it and we do like 3 attacks until they burst, and boom, pack is dead in like 3 hits. And same goes for the boss, like it just completely blast through this content. We're also using the Vortex rune here to pixel pull everything, and the barrier rune to have a tremendous amount of barrier, which is also giving us multipliers. I'm gonna show you here the full 100 gameplay at the end. I just wanted to quickly show you here, like to give you an idea of how the build is played and how we're rocking with this. And yeah, like the clear times are very fast, even on the high tiers. And I have some clean numbers here where it's hitting for like 30 billion, and you can hit like even higher because my gear again is not very optimized. So this is like probably the setup to play if you want to kill bosses, and again you also don't need any Ubers. So we have the Harmony Helm here on the helm. We have a Juggernaut here for extra armor. You can also play Turiel's Might if you want to do like pit runs with it, because then you will need always. But for boss killing, we just want to go full DPS, and the Touch of Death Swarm duration here is a straight up multiplier to this build. So that is extremely powerful. I don't even have Ancestral Gloves. I don't even have an Ancestral Weapon. And we are still clearing like all the content in the game with ease using this build. So here we have core skills. Usually our Touch of Death is a potency skill, it's not a core skill, but using the rune here is going to make it a core skill, and then again using Kapeleke is going to make your core skill into basic skill. So this is a basic and the core skill, and it has like basically almost all the attacks in the entire game. So very strong here. And then this aspect, ideally I think you want to put it on the amulet. I just haven't found a good variant of this, so that you see how much DPS potential there still is upwards. If you get a good gloves here that have a bit, you know, higher multiplier, you can put it on the amulet. Right now I have the armor scaling because we are scaling armor with our gorilla attacks. However, I think it's going to be best if you put this on the amulet later. I just didn't want to switch it all the time because no materials. Then we are rocking Disobedience. Again, like once we attack, we get even more armor, right? You see here. Our armor stacks are also still up because like we have this dot that just keeps going basically. So we still have all the armor going here for us. And yeah, Disobedience plus Resolve stacks also gives us a multiplier. This is the stack down here. It gives us damage reduction, and together with the Colossal Glyph here that we have in our Paragon board is also going to give us multiplicative damage, 2% per stack. And again, we have 12 stacks, so that's 24 X DPS, very strong. I'm going to have the planner linked in the description. You can follow along everything that I'm saying here. And just check that out. Then on the boots, I like Soar cooldown reduction. We have increased Ferocity stacks because Ferocity gives us attack speed, so we can apply dots faster. And it also gives us multiplicative damage with our skill tree and the Furnace here, where we get multiplier for every stack of Ferocity that we have. So it's like giving attack speed and multiplicative damage. And then I like the Soar cooldown reduction. Soar is basically here the way that makes targets vulnerable. So I just have to go in and you see they just instantly become vulnerable. It's very comfortable. Alternatively, I think ideally you also want to have, instead of max life, you want to have lucky hit chance to make the target vulnerable. We have decent lucky hit on Touch of Death, so that's going to work very well, and you don't have to soar all the time. Then we are rocking Kapaleke here. This one basically makes our core skills into basic skills, and it also makes them scale with resources. So we stack a bunch of vigor, and we spend and we regain the vigor like pretty much immediately. You can see here, like once we start attacking, the vigor bubble, it basically just dances all the time. So it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. So this is because we spend it, but we regain it pretty much immediately, right? So we get a bunch of extra DPS multipliers with the Kapaleke using this. And yeah, the DPS just goes to, I think we just hit for 40 billion there or something. I don't even know. It's a lot of damage basically. And we're not fully optimized. I don't even have an ancestral weapon, so that's gonna go even crazy. And ideally here you want to masterwork the chance for core skills to hit twice. So it can be a lot better than what I have here. And then we can use the Moonrise now, because we basically have our core skill is a basic skill. So this is attack speed and it's a double damage multiplier. Very, very strong. Alternatively, you can also use adaptability. However, you can't fit in both of them at the moment, at least. Then we are using the Midnight Sun here. This one gives us the resources back whenever we crit. And we are using this together with Ravager to get even more resources back. And we also have one resource generation roll here, which basically allows us then, because every hit is a crit with Kapaleke, we're just getting it back immediately. You see like how the resource is dancing like all the time here. And that's because we just get it back. Like we have 100% of our resources that we get from this ring with all our resource generation with the 1.3x from Ravager, and we just like fill it up immediately pretty much. So pretty good. Then we are scaling armor here. This adds a lot of weapon damage, 42% of 11,000, and I think we actually have 12,000 because we have like a bit of a penalty here in Torment difficulty. So we are basically, I don't know, 12,000 armor, and you can have even more. I don't have a greater affix on the amulet. Times 0.45, so you're adding 5,000 damage to your weapon, which is basically 10xing your total damage, and you can have a greater affix total armor plus GA here, basically giving you another disobedience. I think this goes up to like 140% armor or something if you have like a GG amulet. So yeah, mine doesn't even have 100% basically. So yeah, there's like a lot of stuff to get. Then we have the Spirithall, we have Gorilla, and we have Jaguar. This one is mainly for the skill tags, but Gorilla gives us also Thorns for our Ravager glyph. It also gives us Barrier. And the Jaguar also gives us Ferocity stacks increase, which increase our damage and our attack speed. And we also gain Ferocity when we attack a boss, so that's very comfortable. And that's how we also manage to keep our Ferocity high all the time. And once we have our Jaguar, we even overflow the Ferocity to 14. Then we have 14 stacks as long as we, you know, keep attacking. And keeping attacking is very easy because our swarms, they will just continue to do that. And they actually also can follow us from the Touch of Death. Okay, then let's talk about the skills here. So we're using Touch of Death. Again, this is the big multiplier. We're using Armored Hide to get Resolve. We use Ravager to get resources back. We use the Hunter for the Ferocity stacks. We use the Hunter for the extra buff that we get with ultimates, and we use the Hunter for injured enemies, and you can also reduce its cooldown with the key passive, but also by killing monsters. Scourge gives us a 1.5x multiplier, it gives us additional lifesteal. Touch of Death also has lifesteal. And then we have Soar. Again, we use this to make the enemies vulnerable. If you are playing normal pit runs, I would recommend you to drop the Warcry rune and get in Vortex, so you can pixel pull the enemies. You can see this in my footage here. I basically use the vortex here to like see like when we engage this elite down here to basically pixel pull the enemies together. Here you see, boom, the vortex triggers and they all get together and they die pretty much immediately for like 5 billion damage. So that is extremely powerful. And then on the other rune word we are using the Druid Earth Bulwark, which gives us a lot of barrier that increases our toughness and also increases our damage with our Paragons. Okay, then on the skill tree, we are basically rocking just 2 points to unlock the core section, and we don't have a core skill, 3 in follow through and 3 points in balanced exertion. If you are lacking resource, you can also skill vigorous, however, I don't think I'll need it here in this build. Then we have Soar with vulnerable, we have 3 in apex, we have the measured Revenger. Again, this one gives us a ton of resources. And then we have Perseverance and 3 points in Armor Tide. So together with our Prodigy's Tempo, it's gonna get to rank 5. And rank 5 here is really important because on rank 5, instead of 1 resource stack, you actually gain 2 resource stacks. I'll show this to you here real quick. So I just attack a couple times and boom, you see it's on rank 5 and now we're gaining 2 resolve stacks. And if I wait, it's back to 1 resolve stack. So that is very strong, very powerful. Counter attack we get passively from our Midnight Sun Ring. It gives us the passive effect, and the passive effect will also increase our crit damage if we take reinforced by up to 1.3x. So very strong. Then we have Scourge here, another 1.5x multiplier, and also can give you lifesteal or resource depending on what you need. I have enough resource already. So you just attack a single target with your Revenger active, and you see if your resource is full or just dancing to be full all the time. And then you basically know that you're gonna be on the good end, and you don't need more resources to trigger or to get more resources to get your essence or your vigor full again. Then we're rocking 1 in Dominant. I like this one because it has a chance to execute bosses even on Pit 100, even on 150. It can execute it, and you also get a good amount of maximum life here from Resilient. And you also have another 1.05x against knockdown and staggered bosses, for example. Then we have 3 in the new passive here, Vehemence, another 1.3x multiplier. And since our Touch of Death doesn't have a cooldown, we don't really care about the negative effects, so this is one of the best passives. 3 in Potent, 3 in Furnace. Again, with the Harmony, our Touch of the Death is also becoming a Jaguar skill, so we get all the bonuses. We have 3 in Ravenous, 3 in Oppressive, even more the bonuses, even more multipliers. Resolution, Supremacy, also damage multipliers after we cast our Hunter. We don't need more than 1 skill point because we can just reset it with Prodigy's Tempo, and we can reset it by killing monsters. And we also max Spiritual Attunement for 30 Vigor, which is scaling very well with Kepeleke, just giving us more maximum resources whenever we have our potions up here. Okay, then on Paragon tree, it's very similar to the Lightning build. Again, actually like transitioning the builds is very easy. I think I'm going to play the Lightning Quill Volley build that I'm going to link below as well. I already made a build guide about that. It's going to be my generic build, and this one is going to be, I think, very hard, high push build once it's min-maxed, and also the best boss killer in the game, I think. We have Spirit in the starter board, the big crit multipliers. Again, we crit always with Kepeleke. A Vicious Shield here. With the Bulwark rune, we get a lot of barrier, and the barrier also gives us a ton of damage reduction. Here, up to like 20%. Very crazy, and we also have a ton of barrier generation, just so you can have 100% of your life in barrier, with the Kenny Glyph giving us non-physical damage. Again, we're doing poison damage, so that's not physical, and the Kenny also helps you with the next Paragon board. Convergence gives you another 1.3x based on your elemental bonuses, and this gives us basically everything but physical. Together with these runes here, if you have enough Paragons, you're gonna be capping this one very, very easily. Then you have the Faster Glyph here, gives us a 1.15x for our Centipede skills, and also a nice additive bonus here with Dexterity, so that's why I maxed it. Again, if you don't have this high Paragon, just get 40 in range. Again, the planner will be linked in the description, and you'll be good. And then we have Sapping here, another multiplier together, very important here with Revenge. So you might be asking, Rob, we're not a Thorns build, how do we trigger Revenge? Well, we have the Gorilla Spirithall, which basically makes our skills Gorilla and also applies Thorns to enemies. So that is going to be very important, and it's just going to like automatically basically proc the Revenge Glyph. And we also have Concentrated and the multiplier here to Eager Prey, which multiplies our maximum resources, which in turn is extremely powerful because it is scaling with our Kapeleke and giving us a separate multiplier. So that is giga strong. And then last but not least, we have the revealing board, chance to knock down enemies, and another 1.3x multiplicative damage for basically everything. And it's gonna work very well against staggered bosses, and we have the Colossal Glyph here, giving us a ton of multiplicative damage for each resolve stack, and we get a ton of resolve stacks, plus it's a very nice additive here, 16% every time. So that is pretty much the Paragon board and the build, my friends. So again, this build is tremendously powerful. I don't think actually there's anything or any build in the game currently that does more DPS than this once you're optimized. It's hitting for billions and billions, and I'm not even that optimized here, you know, like it's already going crazy. And it's not even that good yet, because I can still get like all these, these are 14 billion, and we can still, like, you know, temper all this touch of the death. So I can double this one. This instead of 40 can be like 70, 80%. And this is like throughout the board, and I don't have an ancestral weapon, so there is still a lot of potential up. Again, if you want to play pits, I recommend Turiels, or if you have good rolls, you need all res on at least 2 or 3 items to get the maximum resistances. But if you have Turiels, it's making it a lot easier. And if you're like a more casual player, I definitely recommend you play with Turiels. However, the endgame build is definitely going to play with Juggernaut and another touch of the death Swarm, because it's basically a separate multiplier and tremendously powerful. I hope you enjoyed the video, my friends. Spiritborn is amazing and looks to be one of the best or the best class for the next season. So log in. I'm going to be playing Spiritborn for sure, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to leave you here with some more gameplay, and I will see you soon, my friends. GG, take care. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.